What is up, everybody? Bob Heilig here, your virtual upline, and the moment that we have all been waiting for is officially here. It is the beginning of the Revive Your Downline Challenge. I am so excited to be able to share this 5-day recruiting and team building training series. And we are going to kick it off today talking about what I truly believe to be the biggest mistake that many of you are making when it comes to recruiting and team building. So I'm just going to say this. We're going to start off really heavy on strategy, and then we're going to move into some mindset tomorrow. But if you are somebody that struggles with just recruiting in general, right? You get customers, but for whatever reason, you can't build a team. Or number two, if you are someone that struggles with recruiting business builders, so your problem is not so much that you can't recruit people, but you just can't quite find the people that are willing to do the work, right? The business builders. If you're struggling with that, this is for you. Or if your problem is duplication, this is going to be the training for you. And I'll tell you, it's going to be very eye-opening, today's message. Now, before we get into it here, glad to see everybody live. Looks like we're going to quickly go over 1,000 here, which is pretty incredible. I want to give you a quick heads up on how this week is going to go off. So every day at noon Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to be doing a short training message. This message will be anywhere from probably 15 to 20 minutes, depending on the day. Each of the 5 days, I've strategically broke this down so that each day builds upon the next. So we're going to give you a little bite-sized piece of training. This is going to be foundational stuff that you're going to take from this week. Long after the 5 days, it's going to completely transform your business. But we're also going to give you some assignments. So this is not going to just be, hey, let's sit back and let's listen to Bob, get us fired up. I'm going to be pushing you. I'm going to be, no pun intended, challenging you to take action. And I'll tell you, you're only going to get out of this week what you put into it. So I want you to play big. I want you to push past your fears. I want you to release the excuses of overwhelm or not enough time. I want you to choose your business this week. Make it a priority. Do the work. And if you're just willing to commit 1 hour per day over the next 5 days, I guarantee you, you're going to see a transformation in terms of your leadership and your business. So excited to give it to you. So hey, listen, for those of you that heard, we're doing a big contest as well. And what's going to happen is every morning you're going to get an email from us that's going to have a word. And that word, you're also going to get a second word that I'm going to give you in the live video, and I'm about to give it to you right now. And if you read all 5 days worth of emails and you attend the video, you watch the video, at the end of the week, you're going to have 10 different words. And what we're going to do is every day when this video is done, we're going to create a post in the group, and there's going to be a link. And if you click on that link and you leave the 2 words for the day, each of the 5 days, you're going to be eligible for our grand prize drawing. We're going to pick 2 of you that are going to have a chance to win either an all-expense paid trip to Dallas, Texas as a VIP guest at my live training event, or we will pay for 6 months worth of home cleaning services on us. We'll clean your house for 6 months. All you have to do is read the email, get the word, show up for the video, get the word, and every day leave the response. So a little bit more on that when we're done. But let me go ahead and get into the training. We got almost 1.5 thousand people on here right now. So, and by the way, the word of the day for the video is freedom. The word of the day is freedom. And yes, Sabrina, thanks for the heads up. That link will be in the email as well that we send out. So enough housekeeping. Let's go ahead and let's get into it. So today I want to talk to you about a concept called don't be the expert. And by the way, at the end of this training message, each of the 5 days, we are going to do a Q&A. So if you've got some questions, it would be best for you to hold them until the end so that I can see them, and we'll make sure that we take some time to go through and do that. But let's talk about this idea. The biggest mistake that most of you are making that kills you in the tracks from the very beginning is you are making yourself the expert. So what does that mean? Well, I want you to understand this. Your prospect is asking themselves a very important question, right? When it gets down to them deciding, do I think this is something I can do? Do I want to join your business? They're going to ask themselves one question. And this is the most important question you need to help them answer. And that question is this: can I do this? Can I do this? At some point, your prospect is going to get to the point where they're going to ask themselves, is this something I think I can do? And unless the answer is a resounding yes, that's why most of you are struggling with recruiting. See, so the question is, how do we make the answer be yes? Well, it comes down to one thing: simplicity. See, it is our job. The key to you becoming a better recruiter, the key to you getting more duplication, is you must make the process of sharing your products and your business with them simple. Because if it's not simple, when people get to the point of asking themselves that question, the answer is going to be no. And I'll tell you, this is probably one of the biggest aha moments that I ever had when it came to recruiting was this. And if you're taking notes, write this down. The training process for your new consultant, your new recruit, doesn't start when they sign into the business like many of you think. The training process starts the moment you open your mouth to them. And a lot of you do not understand this. See, from the very first message you send on social media, the first word that you say, you are teaching them how to do the business. And if they're watching and listening to you and you're not making it simple, that's the reason why you're getting more people saying no to you than yes. So when we talk about don't be the expert, here's what I want you to understand. When you are the one that is doing all the explaining, all the answering questions, presenting all the details, that is you making yourself the expert, right? And here's the problem with this. When we're the one being the expert, we're doing all the explaining and answering questions, how it comes across to your prospect is you selling them. Now, we don't see it that way. We're just like, but Bob, I'm just excited to tell them, and I get it. But they perceive it as you selling us. And there's a big problem with that. The problem with this approach is that the vast majority of the people that you know that you're going to talk to about your business, they do not consider themselves sales types. They don't consider themselves salespeople. So if you hear, like if you're somebody that hears this objection all the time from people, I'm just not a good salesperson, or I see how you could be good at something like that, but that's not for me. It's because you're talking too much. There's never been another reason ever why somebody would say that to you other than they perceive you selling them, which comes from us making ourselves the expert. So what do we need to do? And think about it, take it even another level. Why would somebody buy your products, love your products, have a transformation, the products have changed their life, but for whatever reason, you can't get them to share that with others to make money? Why would they not want to do that? Because they don't see themselves doing what you did to get them to buy the products. This all goes back to the same thing. Or maybe this is your problem. Maybe, so if you're someone that says, yeah, Bob, I just can't find business builders, I want to give you a different way to look at this. Maybe you're someone that in your personal business, you can recruit people no problem, but it never duplicates, right? They're not business builders. They can't go out and do the same thing. And here's the story you've created. Bob, they just don't have the drive or the vision or the initiative that I do. Well, I want to give you a different way to look at that today. See, I bet it's far more likely that this is happening. That you are recruiting people, but you're doing it the wrong way by making yourself the expert, and then that new person is going out and trying to do the same thing you did, because guess what? People don't do what we say, they do what they saw us do. And don't forget, the training process starts the moment you open your mouth to them. So here they go, going out trying to be the expert, but the problem is they're not as good as you. they don't know as much. They don't have as much influence or personal power with the people they know, or confidence or belief, and they go out and they try to do it the wrong way and they fail and they quit because they get discouraged, because most people don't have a big enough desire or dream to get through that. And when you trace back, so what's the real issue? Is that they didn't have the initiative? They weren't business builders? No, they were set up for failure by you from the very beginning because you did it the wrong way. Now, does that mean that they're not responsible for their own success? No. They still play a role, and you certainly could do it the wrong way and still have someone be successful, because maybe you're like, well, that was me, but you're the rarity. Most people don't have that enough initiative and drive to get through the early struggles. You can start to increase your success ratio by changing the way that you do this. Look, I fell victim of this for almost a year and a half of my career. I had a background in medical sales. I was a trained professional salesperson. I remember I joined a network marketing business and my mentor said, Bob, keep it simple. Don't explain it, right? He said, I'll get into that in a second, but he said, you can't be the expert. And I remember thinking, yeah, I got it, man, but that sounds nice and cute. Ask my family to do me a favor. Like, that's nice, and I'm sure that works for most people, but you don't know me. I'm a professional salesperson. I know my people. I'm going to just go out and do it the way I do it. And I failed miserably for a year. I literally didn't recruit a single person for 1 year. And then even when I did, nothing would ever duplicate. And I always blamed it on my team, right? They're not the right people. And I never looked at myself in the mirror and said, Bob, maybe you have a role in this happening. And that's when I finally started to wake up. And what I want you to understand, if you're a person that falls into category 2, if your personal business is on fire, but your team isn't growing, I want you to realize that if what you're doing is working for you, but it is not duplicating on your team, then it is not working. You did not get into network marketing to go out and sell a bunch of products and recruit people, but never have any team, right? I mean, that's just a sales job. The beauty of our profession is leverage, is being able to earn massive amounts of residual income through growing an organization, and that's never going to happen for you unless you listen very closely to what we're talking about here in video number 1. So let's get into the details here. All right, I drew up some visuals. I'm a highly skilled artist, so I wanted to really show you that, and I drew some visuals up for you. So here's the key thing I want you to understand. When you are approaching a prospect, right, you want to approach them about your business, your products, whatever. There's 2 parts to the approach. Here's what they are. The approach is, and I'm not even going to be able to see myself, but I'm going to just, there it is right there. The invitation and the presentation, okay? Now I want you to notice something. Those 2 things are separate circles. That means that they're not joined in the middle. That means they're not done by the same person. The invite is your job. You just invite people. Hey, try the products. Look at this. I'm excited. Let me know what you think. I thought of you. The presentation, which is a second separate step, must be done by someone other than you. It must be done by a different person. When you get into the facts and the figures and explaining, if you want to be successful recruiting and building a team, if you want to keep things simple, you must invite and allow someone or something else to present. And this right here is the biggest mistake that most of you are making. Here's what people do that struggle. They combine those 2 steps. The circles are together. They invite and present in the same step. And nowhere is this more evident than here on social media. How many times have you gotten one of those messages or sent one of those messages where it's like, hey Judy, how are you? And then you go right into your pitch. Joined a business, thought of you, it's great. Here's the link, here's the company, here's the details, blah, 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 blah. And every single one of you are either doing this or you've done this in your past. And I call this the copy and paste recruiting method. That it is, I literally can't believe that people still teach their downline to do this. Like, let me give you a different way to look at this. If you are sending initial reach out messages that you're already going into your pitch, you're including a link to something, you need to stop immediately. There is nothing more unprofessional or inauthentic than you pitching people in your first initial message. And this is the number one reason why you are failing. You are turning people away. Look, I don't even, if somebody sends me a message and it has a link in it, I don't even read the message. Because I'm like, if you didn't care enough to at least take the time to connect with me on a human level, to find out if I'm even interested in looking at what you have, then I'm not giving you the respect to even read your message or look at what you sent me. Guys, you need to stop this. It is the biggest problem that many of you are having. So the question is, what do we do, Bob? Well, then what do we message them? What do we say? Well, here's the first thing. You got to keep it conversational. Now, I've actually created a resource because I am not going to train you on scripts in this video because there are a million different ways to do and say the same thing. But I've created a guide and it's called the 5 Scripts for Social Media Prospecting. And I am going to post this guide in this group for free for you. And I'm going to put a link to it in the comments so that each and every one of you can download this guide. And I've got 5 different examples of language or scripts that you can use when you're messaging people that is going to be in line with what I'm teaching you, okay? So you check that out. But let's talk more about, okay, so how do we present? If we're not the one, it needs to be in 2 separate steps. How do we do this second step? Well, here's the key. You need to use third-party tools. Now, this is not a new concept to many of you. You've heard people talk about it, third-party tools. Maybe some of you don't even know what it is, right? But here's what you have to understand. When it gets to that second step, right, you invited, but the presentation, it must be done by someone or something else. So when it comes to giving the company name, talking about the products, you have to leverage tools. Now, the question is, well, what's a third-party tool? Well, it's actually pretty easy to remember. A third-party tool is anything but you. Anything but you. Now, that is a big possibility, but anything but you. It could be a video that talks about your products or your business or your company or all the above. It could be a recorded call where somebody is explaining and having the conversation. See, here's something so simple. Like if you're making yourself the expert and you don't have any third-party tools, like you're in a company or like they don't exist, why not take what you say, record it in the version of a short video or recorded call, and allow your whole team to use that as their initial reach out tool. If you did just that, your results would go up 10x almost overnight. You've got to use things like websites, brochures, product samples, live presentations, online presentations, recorded presentations, 3-way calls, physical meetings, anything but you to present the details. Here's what I want you to realize. This took me years to understand. The less that you say, the more you will make. My sponsor said that to me my first year. I never forgot it. He said, Bob, the less that you physically say, the more money you will make. You must always be making it simple. And I can guarantee you this, if you are struggling today, it is for one reason and one reason only. You are saying too much to not enough people. There's a simple tweak. Flip it around. Instead of saying too much to not enough people, start saying less to more. Stop saying too much to not enough. Start saying less to more. It will literally revolutionize your business. Now, on Wednesday, we're going to start digging deeper into what it means on saying less to more. So there's a lot more to come on that. That mentality alone will change your business almost overnight. But that's what I want you to think about. Now, here's a question that I'm sure I'm going to get. People say, yeah, but Bob, what if we lead with the product, right? But we're a product first company. We want to get them as a customer. And that's fine. But I'm here to tell you it applies to you as well. I would even argue you have to be even more careful if you are a product first company, because the trap of falling into the expert once you're knowledgeable on what you do is so easy. But there's a big problem. If you get somebody as a customer, You make yourself the expert. You don't use any third-party tools. And you know at some point you're going to want to have the business conversation with them. That might be several weeks down the road. The moment you have that conversation with them, what do you think they're going to think back to? They're going to think back to the very first interaction that they had with you to get you to try their products. And what question do you think they're going to ask themselves? Can I do this? Do I have the time? Do I think I have the desire? And if you made yourself the expert, if you did all the explaining, the answer is going to be no. This is why some of you have dozens and dozens. Some of you have hundreds of customers, but you can't build a team because this is your problem. All right. So let me answer another question. So here's the other thing. People say, Bob, I want to recruit higher quality people. How do I recruit better people? I want to recruit successful people. Okay, well then this is very important for you to understand. If you want to recruit successful, high quality people into your business, you must use third-party tools. Look, you already know what the number one objection you're going to get from people that are already successful. They don't have enough time. Look, people that are already killing it in their careers, they don't always get involved because they need and want more money. They have money, but they don't have time. So if you make yourself the expert, if you're showing them a process that is very time intensive and very labor intensive, they're never going to even look at what you have because they're like, I don't have time, right? Here's the key. You want to recruit successful people? You need to focus on the 3 S's. And the 3 S's are simplicity, system, and support. Show them it's simple. You don't have to explain. Can you play a video for someone? Show them the system and show them the support. You have me, right? I'm here to support you. Just play the video if they're interested. Get them on the phone with me. I'll help you buy your time back. I'll help you leverage your network and your influence. I will partner with you, allow you to leverage your time through my effort, and allow me to get into your contacts. If you're not using third-party tools, you're never going to be successful recruiting high-quality people because they just won't think they have the time to build the business. So here's the last thing I'm going to share with you. So then the last part of this is people think, Bob, well then what do we talk? Like we do have to talk, right? So there's words that we have to say. What do we say? Here's what you do. I want you to do 2 things. I want you to focus on building the relationship with your prospect, and I want you to focus on finding out their problems. See, here's a very important piece of advice I need all of you to hear. The people that you're talking to about your business and your products, they are not looking for opportunities. They are not looking for products, okay? They're not looking for something else to buy. Let me find something else to spend my money on. Or they're not sitting at home saying, hey, honey, you know, I know how busy we are, and I know how we don't have any time, but I really wish somebody would try to recruit me into a network marketing company because I would love to start a home-based business with my already busy schedule where I don't have time. They're not saying that. So stop trying to sell them products and opportunities. Here's what they're looking for. Solutions to their problems. Sell them solutions. Sell them on how your products can help improve their life. Sell them on how your business can help solve an issue for them. Buying their time back. Giving them purpose. Giving them meaning. Giving them security. Stop trying to sell them the facts and the figures. Find out what's missing in their life and sell them that. Well, then here's the next question. How do I find out what's missing? Share your story. If you learn how to share with people as you're taking them through this process, share your story in a vulnerable and authentic way. Tell them about what was missing in your life and how that made you feel and how that was the thing that made you go out and find this business and how this business or these products provided you a solution and hope for your life and excitement for the future. Focus on that. And here's the thing. If you are vulnerable, it opens up a space for someone else to be vulnerable. Now, what if they don't share? Then they're probably just not a good prospect. But if you focus on those things, building a relationship, selling them problems to their solutions, and don't forget the 3 S's, simplicity, system, and support. You do those things through the process, you're going to be way more successful. So in closing, here's what I want to say to you. Be prepared, because this is not going to be easy for some of you. This is very simple, but I'll tell you, there is nothing easier than nothing harder than saying less, especially if you're used to making yourself the expert and saying more. So you're going to be very uncomfortable. Tomorrow, we're going to move you to action, and you're going to be scared out of your mind, and you're going to be uncomfortable. It's going to feel unnatural to you, but I want to tell you all of that is a good sign, because here's the key. You can't get better and be comfortable, and you can't get better and you can't look good at the same time. So you have to embrace failure. You have to embrace the suck. You've got to understand that if the results you have right now are not good enough, then it's because what you've been doing isn't working. So try something new to get different and better results. And that's what I'm going to give you this week. All right. Let me give you the homework assignment. So the homework assignment is this. I want each and every one of you to find one third-party tool that you can use this week for your prospecting, because tomorrow we move you into action. So you've got a day to find a third-party tool. Now, let me give you a warning. Do not overthink this, because some of you are going to have this urge where you want to find the perfect third-party tool. It doesn't exist. And as a matter of fact, most prospects are not going to see a third-party tool and sign up on the spot. They're going to need to see 2, 3, 4, 5 things. So find something and start with it, right? And here's the key. If it's a video, a call, a product sample, your website, whatever, recorded presentation, doesn't matter. Find something, but make sure it's not too long. Sending somebody a 30-minute call or a 30-minute video is too much for the first touch point. It needs to be a sip of water. You're just looking to find out, do you want to learn more? 3 to 10 minutes in length if it's a video or a call. If it's a little bit longer, okay, not much more than that. And here's the thing, ask other leaders. If you're like, I don't know what I should use, reach out to other leaders, find out what are you using, what's working, and use that. The last resort is creating one of your own, right? It's the last resort. Don't try to reinvent the wheel if you don't have to, but I'll tell you what, if there's literally nothing else out there, you're like, Bob, there's not a single tool in my whole company, then create one today. Create a 5-minute video of you explaining your products or your business, right? What you normally say, but do it on a video. And I'm telling you, it's going to seem really weird, but even if you sent someone a video of yourself explaining it, it's still better than you explaining it. I actually had to do that before in one of my companies. But at the end of the process, you know what I could still say to them? Can you do what I did? You don't have to film your own video because I already have it. Can you have people watch that? Now that's the last resort, but you need to find a third-party tool. Something you can send to someone that they can take a look at. It will literally change your business and change your life. So that is the message for today. If you joined late,